Hello Sumeti, welcome to another beautiful video. So we'll be learning how to make this beautiful off shoulder ruffle. As you can see in the video, you can see how nice it is. So I'm not just going to be showing us how to make the ruffles, I'll be showing us how to attach it to your dress, right? So we'll be learning everything together. So you need your lining, which is your doll face, and you need your organza, then the main base that you're adding the ruffles too. So the first step to achieving it is, first of all, you measure your round shoulder measurement. After you might have sewn your off shoulder gown, you do your round shoulder measurement. If you've not seen the video on how I made this off shoulder dress I'm working on, I'll drop the link in the description box for us to see the cutting and the stitching part of the video. Is really very well detailed and explanatory. So as you can see me doing the video, you can see that I'm measuring the shoulder round, and please don't forget that you're meant to measure the zipper part also. So my measurement is 47.5. That is the round shoulder measurement of the dress I'm working on. So I'll go ahead to measure 47 on my material. Now don't forget that my fabric is already on fold, right? So it means that I will divide the 47 into 2 to get the length that I'm working on, and that's what you can see me do. So I divided the 47 into 2, so I will go ahead and mark the right place needed for the cape. Don't forget that the doll face we are cutting now is the cape where we'll be creating the ruffles on. So the 47 I measured now is what I am marking on the doll face. Can you see what I'm doing? So that's the part where the 47 will be. So I have to determine the width of the cape. So I will be using 10 inches as the width, so that by the time I fold it, I will have 5 inches. So I'm marking 11 because I'll be using 1 inch for sewing allowance, because you know I will be folding it, like I will be joining it together before I will now have like 5 inch as the width of the cape. So I marked 11 inches. I will just connect a straight line to where the 47 inches is extending to. You can see what I'm doing in the video. I'm just connecting the straight line. Don't forget the width I'm using is 10 inches, but I added 1 inch for seam allowance, right? So I measured 11. So the 47 inches and half divided by 2 is what I have as the full length, because the material is on fold, like I said earlier. So after that, I will just go ahead now and cut it out. This video is really very detailed. I did the stitching, how I attached it to the dress, how I made the ruffles. I show some parts of the sewings of the ruffles also, like sewing the ruffle to the cape. Everything is in the video. So if you really want to know how I did this, you can stay to the end of the video. So the next thing I will have to do, you know, I told you I'll have to join it. So this is me folding it. I will go to my machine and join it with 1/2 inch, and I will also join the side, iron it properly, and come and show us. So this is it. I've gone ahead to join it together. Both the sides, everywhere is joined. I've also turned it to the right side. So this is the main cape. Now let's say this is the base for the ruffles that we're working on, right? So the next thing I have to do now is to mark the distance I want to create the cape with. You can see me that I'm removing my 1.5 inch for zipper allowance. Then I will add extra 1/2 inch to it. Do you get? Because if I just attach the cape directly from the zipper allowance, there won't be space for me to fix my zipper, right? So I measure the 2 inches on both side of the zipper. So I measured 2 inches, 1.5 for my zipper allowance, then the remaining 1/2 inch will be the distance between the zipper allowance and between the zipper and the ruffles, right? So that my zip will not be hanging on the ruffles when I'm zipping up. So now the next thing, now I have to determine the distance I want between each ruffle to the distance I want between each ruffle. So I'm measuring 1.5. So the 1.5 now is what I will measure until I'm done with the whole of the cape. Hope you understand. I will just go ahead and measure the 1.5. Now if you want yours to be 3/4 of an inch, you can do. If you want yours to be 1 inch, you can do it that way. But working with the volume of organza I have, and again I realize if I should make it 1 inch or 3/4 is going to be too much. You can see how fluffy it is at the beginning of the video, right? I use 1.5 as the distance between each ruffle, all true. So this is me, I've ruled out everything, right? If you make it tighter than this, be rest assured that you'll be needing more fabric. I'm using 5 yards of organza. I actually used 5 yards of organza to achieve this ruffle that you're seeing. So if you're using 1/4 of an inch, it depends on the shoulder measurement of the person also. It means you will be needing more ruffles. Do you understand? So what I will do now, I'll go ahead and fold the organza. So this is the organza. I've already folded it into I just folded it into smaller pieces so that it will be easy for me to cut into two. So now this is me folding it into two, right? So I will just divide it into two. I have to fold it this way because it is easier for you to just separate it into two when it is folded into smaller units like this. So I'm just removing the edges. So this is 5 yards in total. This is me just slitting it into two. So if you do yours like 1 inch apart, you will be needing more organza. Like me now, I'm only using 5 yards. Nothing came out of it. I finished the 5 yards on the cape you saw at the beginning of the video. So I've slit the organza into two. What I will do now, I have to attach the other end that I cut from it, the other half. I have to join them together to give me a very long material, right? Because it has to be very, very long. So this is it. I've joined the both of them together. You can see that I've joined the both together. So the fabric now is now very long, but the width, instead of it to be 60 inches, I will now be having 13 inches. Hope you understand. So now I'll go ahead and fold it. You can see how I'm folding it. Then I will run a straight stitch from the beginning to the end of the organza. I will go ahead and run a straight stitch, then I will come and show us. So this is it. I've gone ahead to the machine and I've run my straight stitch on it. You can see that I've stitched the edges. This is how I stitch everything from beginning to the end because I have folded it into two. I really hope you understand and you are following how I am going about it. So I will just turn it to the right side. So I will make sure that the stitches are inside. Hope you understand. I wanted to iron it, but I did not iron it because by the time I iron it, it will be too relaxed. My ruffles will not come out fluffy. Do you get? So now is to determine the distance between each of the ruffles. Now you're now making, I'm using 8 inches. I'm just making 8 inches apart. You know, for the main base, I used 1.5 of an inch. I marked 1.5 of an inch to the end of the cape apart. Now I am marking 8 inches until I finished the whole organza. It took a lot of time though because the organza was very long. Do you understand? So I had to mark 8 inches. You can decide to make it 10 because the more distance you have, the fuller it becomes. Do you understand? The fuller and bigger it becomes. So this is me. I've gone ahead to rule the 8 inches across the whole organza. Do you see? From the beginning to the end, I ruled the 8 inches all through. So now on the lines that I have ruled 8 inches apart, I will go ahead and draw my gathers on the lines. I'll first draw on the first 8 inches, then I'll go to the second 8 inches and draw gathers. I'll go to the third and draw gathers until I finish with the whole fabric. So I've gone to the machine. I have a gathers foot, like, yes, I have a gathers foot, so it was quite easier for me. You can see that I've drawn my gathers, right? So now if you want to attach it to it at the zipper part, you know we left 2 inches for zipper, but we are going to be placing the material on the 1.5 zipper allowance that we left. So what I will have to do, you can see how I'm putting it. You have to place it this way, because at the end of the day you will not turn it to the other side so that the rough edges will not show. Do you understand? You can see how I'm placing it, that the edge of the organza is facing the edge of the doll face. Do you get? The reason why is because after running a straight stitch, you see me that I'm just pinning it down, I will take it to the machine and run a straight stitch. After running a straight stitch, I will turn it to the other side. So when I turn it to this other side, you can see what I'm showing us. I will just go ahead and run a straight stitch, then I will come and show us. So I've gone ahead to sew on it. You can see, can you see? Is the 1.5 I sewed on. I didn't sew on the 2 inches. So the next thing now, I'm just going to go to the next 1.5 of an inch. Do you get? You can see how I'm placing it. So the first 8 inches, I will put it on the first 1.5 of an inch. The second 8 inches, I will also put it on the next 1.5 of an inch. Can you see what I'm showing us? I've attached few of it. Then the next one is coming to the next straight line. The next one is coming to the next straight line. Hope you understand what I'm explaining. I'll also take us to the machine so we can do a few of it together, so we'll really understand properly. So this is me. I don't know why the lines wearing so visible. Some of them were already wiping off because of the nature of chalk that I used. So you can see how I'm doing it. So this is me mashing it to one of the lines that I have on the doll face. So I'll just mash it on it. Then after tightening it, I will go ahead and mash it on the next line, which is the next 1.5 of an inch. Do you get? The 1.5 of an inch next to this one that I just sew on, that's the one I'm going to mash it up the 8 inches where I have my gathers and line. So can you see what I'm doing? You can see how I'm doing it. So this is how I will do it until I finish with all of the lines I have. And don't forget, the same way we use in fixing this other edge is the same method we use to fix the other edge also, to get a neat edge for the zipper, to fix the zipper. Then one of the mistake I made is that, you know, for the cape, for the full length of the cape, I'm meant to add like 1 inch or half inch, 1 inch in total to it, like for the joining part. Do you get? But I didn't add to it, so it made the cape a little bit short, but it was still enough for my work. But it did get to the edge of the center back, which is the zipper allowance, so I left a little space, like half an inch also, because I would have left half an inch to join the edges of the cape. So this is me. I'm done with the full ruffle. You can see how nice it is. So now we have to place it on the dress. How do we now place it on the dress? You can see the 2 inches we left at the edge of the doll face. I will go and place it on the edge of the, like the center back of the dress. So you can see how I'm placing it. I'll go ahead and pin it down. So I'll go ahead and pin it down. I will make sure I arrange it very well when I'm pinning it, because if you do not arrange it, it might not even go round. Do you get? So you have to arrange it very well, because you have your exact shoulder measurement as the cape already. So this is me trying to pin it properly. I'm just trying to pin it down. So I will pin the upper part, and I will also pin parts of the lower part also. Hope you understand. So I will continue pinning it. You can see that I've pinned some parts, so I will continue pinning like that until I'm done pinning the full ruffle on the dress, then we can go ahead and attach the ruffle to the gown. So you can see how I'm doing it. Please, if you find this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, like, comment and share. Please don't forget to subscribe. Thank you very much for subscribing. So I'll go ahead and do everything off camera, and this is it. I've gone ahead to pin everything. The next thing we have to do now is to attach it. So the center back, now I have to run a straight stitch to press it down. Do you understand? So I have to press it down on the zipper part that will be going in. So I've gone ahead to press the center. You can see my pink thread on it. I've gone ahead to press the back down. So the next thing, now we have to now attach this cape to the main dress. You can see what I'm doing. You make sure that the stitches from the inside are very tiny, not something that will be very obvious and visible. Do you understand? So you just make some tiny stitches on the inside. It takes a lot of time, but at the end of the day, I think it's actually worth it. So this is me just stacking everything. So you can see how I'm doing it. That's how I will tack it round, both the upper part and the lower part. I'm tacking everything round. So if you can devise any other method of doing your own, you can, but I think tacking it with your needle and thread is the best. If you go to the sewing machine, you might just sew on your ruffles and it will come out nice. So I'll go ahead and tack it round, and this is the outcome after tacking it round. So now after tacking it like this, you just go ahead and fix your zip and you're done. Hope you find this video helpful.